one who is searching for the path will find a teacher, will relish the company of the ones who have known, the ones who have traveled before them, the ones who are talking about the destination they are moving towards. Now, what a great relief it is if you are a traveler and if you're lost in the middle of nowhere. You just know where you want to go. You have a map, but you don't know how to read it. Imagine you meet someone and he says, "Oh, I know that place. I'm going there. You can come along with me." What a relief. Only a fool would say, "No, I don't need your help. I will figure out myself. It might take a few lifetimes, but I'll eventually get there." The one who's intelligent, the one who is not lost in his mind, the one who is not enslaved himself to his ego, will seek help. We'll look at that as a wonderful opportunity. I have found not only a fellow traveler who will search along with me, but also the one who's reached the destination. What more assurances do I need? What other map do I need? But you have to be open enough, watchful enough to seek help. The wise ones, ever meditative and steadfastly persevering, alone experience nirvana, the incomparable freedom from bondage. Nirvana is the ultimate liberation. It is the extinguishing of the false ego. That is what nirvana means, blowing out. You're holding on to a false light. Yes, it is illuminating your life. It is helping you to navigate this landscape of life, but it is not real. Sooner or later, it's going to go out. Nirvana is that moment when it goes out, when you are fully aware and awake, and you're detached from that flame, and you're happy to let go of it. You're happy to say, "I'm okay to stop playing the game of life." But the beauty is, the one who has chosen to consciously end the game of life, for him, it never ends. He has become the game itself. He has become life itself. Now it's his choosing whether he wants to continue to play his individual game or simply be as life itself. He has complete choice. But for the one who's lost in the games, who's refusing to be watchful, who's refusing to be mindful and meditative, he would neither find a teacher nor will he walk the path on his own. There's a beautiful story from Buddha's life. It is said that once a mosquito lands on Buddha's hand. He's teaching, his disciples are sitting in front of him. And Buddha just brushes the mosquito aside, it flies away. And then he does that same action again. The mosquito is gone, but he moves the hand in the same way again. The disciples are confused. Why did you do that? When you brushed the first time, the mosquito was gone. Why did you do it the second time? Buddha says, first time when I did it, I was unaware. That is Buddha. That is watchfulness. That is mindfulness. To know what is mindfulness and to know when you're not being mindful. Not a single action should pass by without you watching it. That is mindfulness. But if you miss it, no need to be frustrated. You just become more aware next time. That second action was simply a remembrance. He was just telling himself, next time, be more mindful. In a way, this one small story can give us an insight into three major approaches to life, three major philosophies of life. There is the Western approach, which is more instinctual, more momentary. And then there is the Eastern philosophy, which is more self-denial, non-materialistic. And between these two is the Buddha's middle path. Now, the same mosquito, imagine it sitting on any worldly man. You can recognize him as a man with a Western mind, who is busy, who's lost in the busyness of his life. Now, what happens when the mosquito bites him? He immediately squats it. Why? Because it's hurting him and he wants to take revenge. He's not just brushing aside the mosquito, he's actually killing it. And that gives him the greatest satisfaction. And he does that in unawareness. He's not even pausing to think about that life, about his actions. It's all programmed. It is a part of his conditioning that if a mosquito bites, you squat it. One way of looking at how to deal with the problem of life. The other one is the Eastern approach. In a more exaggerated way, if, let's say, a Hindu monk is sitting and meditating, and if a mosquito comes and sits on his hand, he will not do anything. He will let the mosquito drink the blood. He'll say, well, the mosquito is going about its life. I'm going about my life. Now, why should I disturb it? It's just a little bit of blood. He'll go through the pain. He'll go through the torture till the mosquito drinks the blood and goes away. That is one approach. Self-denial, self-mortification. I don't want any comfort. I don't want any possessions. I will simply accept whatever comes my way. I won't put in any effort. One extreme. And Buddha is right in the middle. He says, you neither have to squat the mosquito unconsciously, nor you have to allow it to drink your blood and suffer. You just watchfully brush it aside. In a way, he's offering a new philosophy of life. The mosquito represents a problem. When you're faced with a problem, how do you deal with it? You don't deal with it unconsciously. You don't deal with it out of anger or with the intention of taking revenge, because all that will eventually hurt you. Now that is karma right there. When you squat that mosquito without awareness, and then suddenly you see death there, you see blood, for a single moment, you become acutely aware that you have killed a life. Now that moment, that single moment of guilt becomes a residue. It has become a part of you. Now that adds to your karmic action. On the other hand, by letting the mosquito drink the blood, you are suffering. You are going through the pain. Even that is being registered in your being. because you did not do anything to go beyond that pain. So, in a way, you're saying, I am okay with pain. I'm okay with suffering. But that is not Buddha's way. Buddha's way is to understand suffering, is to go beyond suffering. Only mindfulness, watchfulness, puts things in perspective. There is a problem. Just brush aside. If it is nagging you, just deal with it in that moment. Deal with it consciously with full awareness so that it does not leave any residue on your being. And you move on. Watchfulness, mindfulness is the solution. It is the solution to live without getting bogged down by life and doing the most important thing, walking towards the deathless state, walking towards your liberation. There will be obstacles on the path. You don't have to fight with those obstacles. You only have to deal with them consciously and keep moving.